Jerry.
Oh, it's Jerry.
Recording in progress.
We're on.
Negative, nothing further. Just take Candy in the corner. That's a direct order. Do it now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, September the 12th, 2024. We are roll call, Black, White, and Blue for Better Relations. And I'm here with a few of my friends, D, AC, Jerry, Mark, JT, Jim, Dave, Cheech, and also Tyrone. And now CJ. We have a good show for you, but before we move forward, we want to recognize what took place on yesterday, 9/11. 23 years ago when our nation was attacked, and many lives were lost. Just under 3,000 lives were lost. First responders, civilians. And so we want to take a moment, have a moment of silence for not only those that were lost in 911, but also law enforcement that were um, taken out in the line of duty, and even those in the military. Thank you so much, D. Before we even go into the next part, I just want to, if you guys know someone that passed away, because many of us was working during that time, whether we were actively working at that day or that time, we were working with the police departments at that time. I personally I knew two persons, one being a fireman, who I'll let Cheech handle that piece of it. But one being he was a transit police officer when I was a transit police officer. His name is Ramon Suarez. Ramon Suarez was on the front page of one of the newspapers, coming out saving a lady from the World Trade Center. He went back in and never came back out. So I just want to just mention his name, and I just want to give you guys the same opportunity to, if you know someone or just want to just recognize their name or whatever.
Can I go? Can I go, Donald?
Yeah, you go, Todd, because I know you on the roll, so you go.
Yeah. So my second cousin on my dad's side, Andre Fletcher, he was part of Rescue 5 out of Staten Island, and Rescue 5 was the team that was in the second tower hit. And they, according to Zach, his twin brother, who just retired fire marshal in NYPD, said the thought process of going in the second tower hit first was because they figured the second tower hit would probably survive collapsing because the first tower was hit first. They went in not realizing that the severity of the second tower was hit so low that it caused the collapse early, and they lost the entire battalion. So it was a rough time for our family. Zach and Andre's father, my Uncle Lonnie, was a mess for years. They say he died of a broken heart, and every year I still smell the smoke, Donald. When you and I were driving back and forth that night. I
Hmm.
can still smell it. It's crazy, man. I still smell it. So just want to recognize Andre Fletcher. I love him to death. Miss him every day.
Hey, our condolences. Our condolences. D, do you want to go? Or we will let Cheech go. Cheech, you want to go, or D?
Yeah, Cheech, you go ahead first, Cheech.
Yeah, I wanted to mention from two firefighters from Hempstead. One was from my company, Engine 4. He was also a member of Rescue 4, one of the elite companies. Darrell Bronco Pearsall.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Michael Kiefer was from Truck 2 in Hempstead.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Hunter from South Hempstead Fire Department. Those are three that I knew personally. And also all of the people that continue to pass away from the effects of 9/11.
Right.
We have lost over 10 people from my department, from Nassau County Sheriff's Department, that were there. So my heart and condolences go out to them. Thank you.
All right. D.
Yeah, thank you for that, Cheech. That's what I wanted to say. We still have members still passing away from 9/11 related disease, from somebody, myself, who was down there from the beginning of it for the first 3 weeks. Um, if those people that don't understand, we were rushing in to save lives. There was nobody was thinking about respirators. I remember back then seeing these things and going, "What the heck is that?" Because we were literally breathing in whatever was coming down from that building, whatever exploded from the planes, and whatever was in the atmosphere. A lot of people didn't understand why people continue to pass away. There are a lot of cancers that they relate specifically to 9/11, and I know guys from my department, the New York State Police, are still passing away. I don't think a month goes by that we don't hear another guy that dies from 9/11 related disease. And we were all down there. So you can understand that it's something that means a lot to us. I wanted to do a homage to all the members, but it's just that many. We didn't have time. So that's why I put up the job distinctions to put all of those guys that from the New York State Police that died, New York City Fire Department, New York, New York Port Authority, New Jersey Port Authority, EMS, NYPD, and all of the rescuers that came from some of the rescuers that came from outside of New York on those days. We had rescuers literally from all over the world coming down there just trying to help, and some of them have actually passed away from 9/11 related disease. So we just wanted to give do a little homage to everybody that participated that way. Some of those pictures in the beginning were first day pictures that actually we took while we were down there, as we were, because most people don't know. We just thought it was. We were talking before we started. People were looking bewildered, covered in. It was the end of the world. I don't know whether anybody really realizes that. We thought it was the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
The sky was falling, literally. So
I have a question for you, D School. Do you remember when you were digging out people and the alarm would sound because one of the neighboring buildings was swaying, and we had to run off that rock, knowing we weren't going to get away in time if the building did in fact collapse? When it was more chilling when the alarm rang that the building was swaying. And I'll forget, me and Richie Wells we almost killed ourselves trying to get away from getting killed. That was one of the scariest part of the whole event, man, is having that damn alarm sound.
yeah, thanks, Ty. That's another thing people don't understand. There were seven. The World Trade is seven buildings. It wasn't two
Exactly.
buildings. And those other buildings, while we were down there, there was no. I mean, later on, engineers came, But we
Right.
were the American Express building is down there, and those buildings with the windows were blowing out and they were falling down. And
Right.
we were literally on top of the pile. When I say the pile, just to give it some context, the pile was 40 stories high.
Right.
And in the
Right.
beginning, we couldn't use heavy equipment because there were literally bodies under there. So you had to move everything by hand. So if everybody knows the old, what was the old water gang, the old chain gang? That's kind of what we did. We just, you grabbed a piece, you moved it, you grabbed a piece, you moved it, because they were actually recovering bodies. Fire engines were mashed down to a foot. It was just to give it
Wow.
some.
It was a 30 or 40 officer chain gang from the
Chain
top of the pile all the way out to the bottom. It was
to the bottom.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just so you understand, we talk about police officers. I'm not gonna take over, guys. I'm gonna say this last thing. I'm sorry. But we literally worked until we fell asleep. No, no, I don't think you understand. We literally fell asleep on the end of the pile because you thought they were gonna find somebody. So that's how we slept the first 3 weeks. Guys literally laid down in the middle of the street. People came by. That's another thing I wanted to say. The people down there, phenomenal. They came by, bought you water, food, gave you clothes, boots. You need a t-shirt. They would take the t-shirt off because you guys were covered in all of this soot. We were covered in all kinds of stuff. Give you hats, glasses, whatever you did. So that's another thing I did want to say. Thanks, Ty. You reminded me.
Yeah. Walking back
Um,
to the buses, we got standing ovation. People were
the
like standing
people.
ovation and crying. It was crazy.
The only thing I can say about that time, if the world was like that now,
It would be
there
great,
would be no
wouldn't
there'd be no separation. There was
it? I
no
mean,
separation. When I tell you, if you sort of look at the people jumping into the cars
it was
and
crazy.
kissing you and throwing candy in the
Yes.
car so you had something to
Yes.
eat, I tear up just thinking about it. Anyway,
I get chills, bro.
that's my
Still.
part.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Don.
Dave.
No,
Go ahead, Don.
no, this was I see you too, Dave. I wanted you guys to share this because it was real to us. For others, you heard it on the news, you read in the newspaper, probably some of your history books now, but many of us actually lived it. I didn't have as much of experience as D and Ty had in that situation, but I know the night of, even medical supplies couldn't get into the city without a police escort. So I did escorts into the city. I never got down to the World Trade Center. I never got that far down. I just got people into the city and came on back into the city and came on back. So
6 hours, Don. We drove 6 hours, man. You were driving.
I know I did a whole lot of that, and that's what
Yeah.
I remember. But as far as the on site, and most people just should know the Twin Towers is part of the World Trade Center. And so that's what most people refer to. Um, very sad, very sad. And again, and Dee said it, you know, everybody was so kind to everybody. You know why though? Because at that time, we were all Americans. We were not African American, Italian American, German American, Irish American. We were all Americans at that time. And it really meant a lot. I wish we can get back there. I do. I wish we could get back
Well,
there.
not back there, but
Well, no, not to the incident, but to that type of
that time,
love
yeah.
that was spread from person to person. I really I saw a big difference, and I thought we were going to continue to live that way, and then slowly but surely,
Yeah, you returned.
Start drifting back.
those spots came back. You know, but
Yeah, Trump.
Dave, I had Dave. I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Ty,
Mom.
Ty, I knew your cousin Fletch when he stopped by the Freeport Hose 5 on my block. And that's where I met him at way back, man. And Rodney Gilbert was the emergency service sergeant. I knew him.
I know Rodney also.
Yeah. And yeah, a couple of one girl when she go to I forgot that dear lady's name, but she used to visit Burgundy's a lot. She actually worked in the building.
That was Dottie.
No,
Oh.
this girl visited. She was a patron of Burgundy's, and she was a very nice girl, pleasant to speak to you, hello, all that good stuff. And we found once we found out that she didn't survive, it was like a solemn. It just Burgundy's was just wasn't the same, man. And And my first night there, day it happened, I got assigned to escort the bodies into the morgue. And man, let me tell you something, man. To this day, I'll never forget how flat those bodies were with no blood. And then they sent me down to the pile. We had passing buckets, man, and we found an air tank from ESU. And my first day digging there. And then they sent me to the Fresh Kill landfill, and I was going there on and off 2 years. That's where they brought the wreckage. And we had to search for body parts by hand so somebody could get a funeral. I got pneumonia twice up there, and the ground was bubbling methane gas, man. But we had rakes, gloves, and it was cold and bitter up there in that wintertime. And we still had to go out there. We in school, and you're right, man. I fell asleep on the ground of a landfill. That's how tired I was, man. And I didn't realize it till somebody touched me to wake me up and told me to go sit in the car. And but man, I tell you right now, man, it's I couldn't believe that was happening that day, man. I just could not believe it. Even the criminals were pissed off. We had a lull in crime, didn't we? We had a lull in crime in New York City during that time. Yep, and it was just horrible, man. And I would be down there praying that we find something to give somebody a funeral. And we found a lot up there in that landfill, man. I don't even want to go by. I don't even drive by that joint no more. I'll just take the Gospel Bridge if I'm coming through there, and instead of 440 out of Bridge Crossing, because there it is right there, But it was hard. It was a horrible day, man. Yeah, horrible day. And I tell you right now, I'm really pissed off at Donald Trump for bringing that 9/11 truther down there to that memorial yesterday. I'm really pissed off with it, and I'm surprised they allowed her to be there. Okay, she's calling it an inside job and all kinds of stuff. And I'm just tired of the conspiracy theories, man. We all were there. We saw what we saw, doing rooftop searches 5 blocks away and finding bodies up there, getting blown out of the windows. We saw what we saw, you know what I mean? So that's all I gotta say, man. I'm just, we'll never recover from that, even though, it's beautiful down there, nice Freedom Tower and all that. Man, every time you walk by there, when I go to New York to go visit, see my doctor, man, I walk by that joint, and it all comes back. So I'm good, man. I'm done.
So I know I have Mark's hand up. Mark, you go ahead next, and then we'll try to move on. But listen, I'm not rushing anybody. Cheryl, your hands up too? Okay, Mark and Cheryl.
Yeah, so my brother was down there. He was a detective as well. He worked with Dave, actually. But he was down there processing bodies. And although he wasn't a direct victim, it changed him because, processing those bodies, he became really depressed, and he stopped taking care of himself, and he subsequently passed away, Stephen Matthews. Yeah. And the other group of people that rushed down there that we didn't mention were pastors. My father-in-law, Pastor Bobby Lloyd, and today is actually his birthday. He passed away subsequently from being down there from cancer, and his brother-in-law and his other brother-in-law is sick, and he's battling. He's fighting for his life. But like Dee said, and Dee, you did a great job on it. It was actually chilling to see that, and I just want to acknowledge that. I know you put a lot of work into it, and it was a good job. I appreciate it, and I'm sure we all do. But people are still dying. People are still fighting for their lives because of that, and it's just a powerful thing. So thank you, Doug.
Okay. Let me see. CJ, I'm sorry. CJ.
I just have an honorable mention of police officer Cheryl Johnson, who subsequently passed away after the effects, after the 9/11, and she had effects of the being down at the scene. And also an indirect family member. She was an in-law, and her name was Marion Manning. And she was on the 83rd floor. She worked for the insurance company, McLaughlin. I forgot their names, but they took care. She had just had a baby 3 months before. And the week before this, she had been late trying to get back into the scheme of things as a first baby. She didn't know, do things the night before. She called me. She's like, girl. And I said, honey, just pack this, do this. The next morning you'll be up and be on time. And for years, I regretted giving her the information that would help her get to work on time, because she had been late for a whole week. And the supervisor spoke to her on Monday. And I don't know if you guys will recall, but this happened on a Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And when she went to work, she had called me that Monday night and she said, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And she said, my supervisor spoke to me this morning. And I don't know what to do. I said, girl, I said, you just take care of the baby at night. You get her bath. She's 3 months old. How dirty can she be? She might get playing in dirt. You do this and you do that and set everything aside. All you have to do is stick them bottles in that bag in the morning and roll. And that morning, she was on time. I don't know if y'all remember, but I worked at 10 to 6. That's the year I worked for Bruce Williams. I swapped out for him. And I was the desk officer. So I went home at 6 o'clock that morning. And when I went home, I took a shower, went to bed, and she had called me and she said, hey, cuz, I made it. I'm on time. And she left that voice message on my phone. And about 8:30, somewhere between 8:30 and 8:45, my mom called me and she's like, girl, wake up, something's going on. And then I saw. Mm-hmm. And then unfortunately, I played that message probably an hour or so later after I seen the towers collapsing. And that's when it hit me that she's in that building. And to this day, her mother and father still will not accept that she's not here because they've never found her body. So here we are 23 years later, and your child has not come home, but you still won't accept the fact that, she was in that building, but she's not dead because she didn't, they didn't find her body parts. And it's still sad. It still rings hard in the family, but we still love her. Reality sits in and you really have to face it, but her mother and father will not.
Okay. Did I get everybody that wanted to say something? I know Kyle just joined us. Kyle, we're actually talking about our experiences with 9/11. And I don't know if you had any personal experiences, but that's what just happened now. Many of the panelists was talking about their personal experiences. Beverly Wells is one of our faithful viewers, and she stated, I was in charge of human resources at law enforcement agency. Many of the officers who went down there are presently passing from cancers related to being there. Exactly what's going on. So, Miss Wells, and I know you personally also, we're praying for you, and I know you knew many of those officers personally. It's just a difficult time. Every year we got to remember this. And look how it worked out. On 9/11, September the 11th, which was a message in itself, 9/11. They hit our financial district. They hit our military. What was the third one? When there was a third one. Were they going for the
White House.
You were going
White
for
House.
Right, going for the White House. Yeah. So listen, thank you for indulging with us, but I'm sure that each person that had a chance to express themselves feel a little bit better that they could just share about the loved ones that they may have lost. Let me move forward with did I do the statement of purpose? I am so lost right now.
No,
well, Melba's here now. Don't worry about it, Dave. We got Melba here. Melba gonna give us our statement of purpose so we can move.
Well, hello.
Hello.
I don't think I even need to explain who we are. We're roll call because you guys turn into us just specifically because we are who we are. You know that we are pro law enforcement. We are anti-racism. We believe in equitable policing and Black Lives Matter.
Boy, does Melba listen? Melba does that well, doesn't she, Dave?
He sure does, man. Because I was gonna be cursing and everything, man.
I could throw some colorful language in there if it makes you feel better there.
Hey, listen, but like I normally do, Cheech, we're praying for you. We are praying for you, Cheech. I mean, we know. Hey,
My creeper.
I see her sneaking up in there. Put your face back up in there so we can see you again.
Say hi.
There she is.
Hi.
Hey.
My mini me.
Well, listen, but I had my second granddaughter on before we went on the air. So, oh, disclaimer too. I get back to disclaimer. Cheech and Anna, Ty and Ursula, especially Ursula again because Ty just expressed how she needs our prayers. So Ursula, we're praying for you. JT, you know I pray for you every Sunday morning. JT and
every day. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I get you, JT. You on my list. You on my list. Melba, you're still on our list. Go keep talking. I know you over there doing again family business. But you're on our list. Isabel, that's Rich wife. We're still praying for her, and I'm praying for my wife, but I'm taking her off the list today. No, I'm not going to take her off the list because she still has the headaches. But my wife came down with COVID, y'all. We came back from the National Baptist Convention last week. And I tell you real quick, it was Thursday. She started feeling like she's catching a head cold. And Friday, we were driving back from Baltimore. And she's like, well, no, I got a head cold. And then Saturday, I was talking to someone. He said that his wife has COVID. And I'm sitting there saying, well, wait a minute. It sounds like a head cold, but it could be COVID. I said, let us both take a COVID test. So we took the test. She came back negative. Yours truly came back positive. She slept over there. I slept over there. And that's how it's been up until today. Last night when I came home from preaching, she said she had a negative test result. I said, great.
Amen.
And she tested herself again today. It's still negative. So now we feel a little bit better about that. And I'll tell you this, because listen. I'm a family guy. And I had to sleep in my granddaughter's room, and she slept in her mother's room. And I take my blood pressure and an EKG every morning. My blood pressure was 140 over 90 at one time, and then for the most part, it was 130 something over high 80s. All week long, that's what it was. Last night I slept in my bed. And I got up this morning, my blood pressure was 120 over 78. I said, I miss my bed.
Thanks, Sylvia.
I miss my bed. I miss my wife. And so I'm glad that she's all right and we're all right. Okay. Also, we're praying for all of our kids that started school up here in the north. I know down in the south they started a while ago. Up in the north, they just started, so we're praying for all of our children that started school. And then on Monday, I need y'all to put this down on your calendar. Monday is a national holiday. Put it in your calendar. Monday is a national holiday. Kyle's looking to figure out what's the national holiday. It's my birthday, Kyle. I'm going to be a senior citizen for real. I'll be 62 years old on Monday. So y'all keep that in mind. And D, you right behind me, right?
I'm already there.
You beat me there, right? You beat me by a month. Okay. So I believe. Oh, let's do that disclaimer. Kyle, I'm gonna give you a break today because Cheech is already prepared to go. Go ahead, Cheech.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We just wanted to go over a couple of things real quick. First of all, the comments and expressed concerns made by members and guests of roll call panel are the opinions of each individual. They are not intended to be legal advice, recommendation, or suggestions. Remember that the laws change from village to village, town to town, city to city, state to state. So check with your local police department or local attorney. for any legal advice. Also, once in a while, we may display videos that are graphic in nature or photographs. We use these to spark our conversations and discussions. They are not intended to offend anybody. We get these videos from social media just like you would, like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that good stuff. A panel member will let you know prior to displaying any videos that might be sensitive or graphic, or contain anything sensitive in nature. These videos are not, like I said, property of Roll Call. They are out there on social media for anybody to see. Also, the language used by members of Roll Call is very spontaneous. It is uncensored. It comes from the heart. It's not intended to offend anybody. We all speak our truth and what we feel. We don't hold anything back. So please do not take offense to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry it took us so long. Okay. Rev, don't forget your grandpa's birthday coming in 11 days. I get to announce that next week. But you'll remind me, Mr. Dickey. Dickey, that's in our chat, y'all. The Facebook Live, Mr. Dickey Donald Coleman's birthday is coming up. Dickey, how old will you be? Put it up in there. Put it up in there. I know Dickey will be 80 something. I'll let him put it up in there and I'll repeat it. Let's move on. Let's start with the debate. Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry, you have something to say? No, go ahead, Jerry. Okay. Let's start with the debate that took place on Tuesday night. Dickey Donald Coleman will be 80 years old on his birthday. All right, 11 days. 11 days. But think about your thoughts about the debate. If it was a debate, what's your thoughts? Anybody? What'd you say, Chief?
I said it was an ass whooping.
Okay, all right.
Trump said he won.
Yeah, he is stating that he won, and I know in one statement he was stating that why should I do another one? I won. I have nothing, I have no reason to get into a debate. I mean, the guy is really sick as far as I'm concerned. I don't even understand how if you tell me that you support Republicans, all right, but how do you support this guy? I don't know how you support this guy. Real strange. Dave, go ahead, man.
Yep. They want a white nationalist nation. Okay? Because there's no way in hell you can tell me you support Trump for policies. You support him because of what comes out of his mouth. He's a racist, rapist, convicted criminal, and still waiting to be convicted on other stuff criminal. Okay? And these people, he speaks for these people who are afraid to speak out themselves and tell you how they really feel. Okay? We see them now that we used to work with them. They didn't say it when we worked with them, but they spread it to me right on social media now. Okay? And that's why they love this man. This man's a damn fool. He's ignorant. Okay? He's uneducated. I don't give a damn what school his daddy paid for. He's uneducated. He has no business, and he has no business in that damn White House, and no business in government, and no business on my damn TV every damn day. Okay? And first, whoever his campaign staff is who prepared him for that. Okay, for that ass whooping. Okay, you ain't beat no prosecutor. You're not gonna. Kamala Harris will still stand up in front of judges and courtrooms and every damn thing else for years. She walked in that joint, shook his hand, and told him, "My name is Kamala Harris."
She sure did.
Okay, and then she went to roasted his ass like my barbecue is gonna get ready to get started in a little bit. Okay, and that was it. And then he the next day he parades around a damn 9/11 truther to the damn memorial ceremony in New York and the one over here in Pittsburgh. I'm done with this damn fool. And by the way, you let me see. Like then he starts that racist shit that the Haitians eating dogs up in Springfield, Ohio, and eating dogs and cats. Watching. Come on, man. Come on. How can the moderators keep a straight face?
They called him on
Come on, man. I've been lighting them up all day. All those MAGA maggots. I don't care. I had enough. I'm getting in the sewer with them, and I'm gonna call them what they are. MAGA maggots.
Listen. I love how honest you are, Dave. Let me go with D, Jim. I didn't see any physical hands, but let me go with D and Jim.
All right, let me say something for the benefit of everybody watching, everybody in the room. I'm trying to be a good voter. I really am. And what I mean when I say that is I'm trying to let every candidate say something that's going to make me go, well, you know, this next 4 years, you know what? I might make this decision. Now, I'm not a red or blue guy. I'm a green guy. And I always say that every week. I look down in my pocket, and based on how much green is there, that's how I vote. If you gonna put some green in my pocket, you could be Boo Boo the Fool. Well, you could be Boo Boo the Fool. I might vote for you because the green in my pocket is what allows me to take care of me and mine. So I'm trying to be a good voter. Show me something, tell me something that I can be first proud of, and that would support the my economy. I watched the debate, and I didn't want to watch it because I don't want to come off on one side or the other, but I watched it, and I realized that the bar is so low that I spent, and you guys heard me texting out everything up. What? I was looking for what? Every time one of our candidates had something to say, my brain went, what? There's no way anybody with 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 2 pockets can vote for a person that doesn't see, doesn't hear, and wants to make you broke. You tell me something different, I'm gonna believe you. If you can convince me of something different, I know what I see. I know what I've seen. We talking about 9/11. I was on the pile. Some people don't carry that thing around because you wasn't nowhere to be found. I was there in the red zone. You know what the red zone was. You had to be authorized and doubly authorized. The shield wouldn't get you down there. You had to be blessed by the everybody who is. And some people, we're not down there. We're nowhere near there. I can be 100% sure, having something to do with the security, came nowhere near there. So knowing those things, knowing what I know, we got to look at these debates, go in it objectively. But hey, come on, man. Eating dogs, come on, man. And let me say this. He said something to end that anybody watching, do you know what the office of vice president is? It's not a part of the administration. It's not. Hopefully I'm not stealing your thunder, Jim. It's to be there with your own administration in case this one can't do it. So we have continuity. It's not she's a part of these guys or part of those guys. They gotta be independent. That's what makes our republic work. So people that want to say, what were you doing for she ain't supposed to be doing nothing. She's supposed to be staying ready. She's supposed to be ready to take over and do her thing when it's time to do it. So if you don't understand politics, you don't understand your pocket green, and you don't understand the Constitution, hey, read it. It's online. If you don't understand those things, just stop talking. I'm okay with it. Just stop. Go sit down somewhere and let the people tell me what you're going to do and let me make my decision. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, listen, Jim, you are next, but I want you to know Donald Coleman said, I'm waiting on Jim's response.
So we all.
So Jim, you someone wants to hear what you have to say, Jim.
Let me start off by saying the one great thing about the debate, it put everything finally to bed about Donald Trump. So going along with what Dave said and what Dee was saying, like, how could anybody support this guy after all they knew ahead of time, and now finally saw it all come together in this debate? It can only be like Dave says. You have got people that are racist, and you've got people that are really, as Hillary Clinton said back in when she ran, deplorable. They're deplorable people. Now, why could I say that? The Republican Party no longer exists. It's gone. There are no Republicans. And how do I know that? The biggest conservative Republican probably in history, Dick Cheney, is voting for Kamala Harris. If that doesn't tell every Republican exactly where this party is, nothing else will. You have got a felon, a twice impeached draft dodger, and I can go through all the adjectives, and they still support him after he went on national television on a debate saying that Haitian immigrants are eating your pets. A man standing there and I want to be president, and he makes a statement like that. When he's challenged, what does he say? Well, I saw it on TV. This is a man that wants to be president, and people are still supporting him. It's a disgrace. And I'll say it here loud and clear. If you still support Donald Trump, you are deplorable. Look in the mirror, and after that debate, you still support this man? This isn't about conservatism or big government or republicanism. This is about a lowlife, racist, bigot, homophobe, xenophobic man that's trying to take this country down a path that's going to destroy democracy forever. And that's all I have to say for now.
Wow. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Dee. And I know we're not done because Mark is off. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jim, all your points, you fail to understand something, and that's probably the most frustrating thing. The people that support Trump don't care. When he said that he could kill somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it, he meant it. And those people would let him. And that's the most frustrating thing. I looked at the polls, and I'm saying to myself, how can this be a close race? It's frustrating for me. If he's got 30%, where's this other group coming from? That's, and I'm not talking about his ridiculous polls of, I got 90% and I won the debate. And I'm not even talking about all that stuff. But they're saying that either she's up or he's up by 1 point. And I'm like, this guy constantly lies. It's so obvious. But unfortunately, there's so many people in this country that don't care about the truth. All they care about is lining their pockets, and they think he's the answer. And that's all it is to it. Greed and racism. And that's what's so frustrating. But unfortunately, if you expect any more from your neighbors, it's not happening.
All right. Anybody else on the debate?
Breaking news. Donald Trump just announces that there will not be a third presidential debate.
Okay. All right. And another piece of news that just popped up, I think it was Governor Hochul announcing she got skin cancer.
It's cancer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, people take care of skin cancer pretty good though. Jerry, are you trying to say something?
Yeah. I was actually typing it in our chat. The only thing I want to say is polls are not an accurate assessment, in my opinion, and it is my opinion, because if you contact me, first of all, you're reaching out to people looking for the answer you think you want to have. And if you do contact me and I have an answer, I'm going to say what you want to hear. And that may not be what I'm going to do. So I'm not a real firm bet on no polls because according to the polls, Hillary should have won, and we know that didn't happen. And again, most people, like, I get things all the time and I don't even bother to answer it, but the people who respond are telling you what they think you want to hear. So go vote, everybody.
All right, let me just go back to the top of my list real quick. We got Ruth Caffey listening to us. We got Donald Coleman. I don't know who this Minister Eric Matari is, but he's somewhere out of this country asking for funds. And let me just say this to anybody that's listening. Not respond to overseas stuff on our local stuff where you don't know what you're getting into. And I'm just saying that for those who are, I know you guys already, law enforcement already have a mindset, but I'm saying it to those who are listening to us. We have not endorsed anything like that. So Roll Call has not endorsed that. We don't even know who this is. And they come on pretty much each week asking for help. And believe me, I love to help someone out, but I got to know who I'm helping out too. And got to make sure it's legitimate before I could even help anyone else. I just have to say that because I'm looking at this on our page, and not Donald Butler's page, but our page. Again, Renee Henderson is with us. Beverly Wells is with us. Eva is with us. Eric Jones is with us. Some of our, Sarah Brown is watching. Thank you guys for joining us on today with our program. All right. Anybody has anything else on that? Let's go to local government. New York City.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's where we are, right? Yeah. New York City. Mayor Adams, cabinet members having issues, being raided by who? The FBI? FBI. And even on today, the police commissioner has stepped down. Right? D, I know you have a video. Let's look at it before we start discussing it.
Breaking news at noon, New York City's police commissioner is stepping down. NYPD sources tell political reporter Marcia Kramer Edward Caban will resign amid an ongoing investigation. Good afternoon, I'm Cindy Hsu. Now on air and streaming on CBS News New York. We're expecting to hear from Mayor Eric Adams soon about the resignation of Commissioner Caban. This comes after raids this week at his home and at least 3 other top officials in the Adams administration. Political reporter Marcia Kramer has been covering this story all week. She is live at City Hall with the latest. Marcia.
Well, Cindy, I have several sources that tell me that the police commissioner has decided to step down because he doesn't want to be a distraction as the police department has to deal with a lot of important issues. This is not an admission of guilt or that he's done anything wrong. In fact, sources tell me he insists that he believes he has done nothing wrong. But this comes also after there's been days of discussion with the Adams administration. And there was also a decision that they wanted to wait until after 9/11 so that wouldn't be a distraction for what was going on 9/11. And as you said, it comes as top members of the administration have been the target of federal probes. But I want to tell you that earlier, the governor said that she had no problems working with the Adams administration and said it's only an investigation at this point. This is what she had to say.
When there is evidence of wrongdoing, when there is evidence of a crime, we take steps necessary to remove them from those positions when that individual is found involved in committing a crime themselves. Gathering intelligence by law enforcement is a different stage of the process.
Now, again, to report, Police Commissioner Edward Caban has decided to step aside after days of discussion with the Adams administration. Now, the next question you want to know is who's going to replace him? And we're hearing a number of reports, but I'm also being told that the federal officials involved in this investigation are insisting it be somebody from outside the department so that there's no appearance of impropriety. A number of names have been floated. They've talked about former Sanitation Commissioner Jessica Tisch They've also talked about getting somebody from either the U.S. Attorney's Office or the FBI, somebody who's been a former federal prosecutor. It looks like this is an attempt to make sure that whatever investigation goes on, that investigation is not tainted by anything that could happen in the department. Again, it also involves raids that were conducted on four top members of the mayor's inner circle, including the schools commissioner, his first deputy mayor, and the deputy mayor for public safety. Commissioner Caban, through the course of the week, when I had asked him if he decided he was going to resign, he kept saying those rumors were false. But apparently he has caved to pressure from a lot of people that it would be better for the department and no distraction if he were to step aside. As you know, the mayor famously says, no distractions, focus and grind. So this is going along with that. Now, the mayor has COVID, so he's expected to make this announcement momentarily from City Hall, where he is still in quarantine. Cindy, back to you.
All right, Mayor, with all this swirling around the mayor, what has his response been to these raids and the investigation?
Well, I think that nobody knows exactly what's going on, and it looks like there's actually 3 investigations going on. One, which is unrelated, has to do with whether there was any Turkish involvement in making campaign donations to the mayor's 2021 campaign. That's aside and apart. The raids that happened on all of the mayor's inner circle appear to have 2 separate parts to the probe. One apparently is focusing on the police department, where there are allegations that they're looking at the police commissioner's twin brother, James, and the possibility that he had some role in dealing with payments from the various nightclubs in the city. The other investigation appears to be focusing on contracts that may have been given to various officials as part of the Adams administration. Again, there is no indication that anybody right now is a target of investigation and that there's been any wrongdoing. What they're looking for, it seems, is sort of information. They want to see what's on people's phones, if there's anything incriminating on people's phones, or if there isn't. And at this point, it's really too early to tell where the investigations are going.
All right, Marsha Kramer live at City Hall. Marsha, thank you very much. And stay with CBS News New York for the very latest on Caban resigning. If Mayor Adams speaks during this newscast, we'll bring it to you live. And look for Marsha's reports on the...
All right. Any comments? Anybody with any comments on that? On any thoughts? Any thoughts about what's taking place? It's a shame, and one of the comments did say he got rid of a good one in Sewell, Keyshawn Sewell. Nobody wants to be involved with him. Yeah, there you go, Dave. You got it. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, that guy. I knew Eric Adams since he was the head of the Guardians when I was a rookie. Okay, that guy. I'm telling you right now, his administration number a cesspool of corruption. It's gonna come out. Cesspool of corruption. When he jerked around that police commissioner, Keisha Sewell, he would not even let her speak at in press conferences, and she's probably more qualified than he is in running a department. Okay, I didn't like the way he treated her. I didn't like the way the department treated her, and it was time for her to go, and it was wrong. Secondly, his brother, he tried to make him one of his deputy mayors, and then he had to pull him back. He brought in Philip Banks. Philip Banks got jammed up as a chief with that pyramid scandal crap that was going on back in the day. Made him a deputy mayor. I mean, come on, man. Enough already. He had allegation that he didn't even live in New York. He lived in Jersey. I mean, come on. You can't hustle a hustler. You in New York. New York is a hustler. The city is a hustler. You can't hustle that. You can't hustle New Yorkers, man. You can't. You know? And I'm just, Doc, I never did like that dude, man. I don't want to say I hate him. I don't. I just never did like him, man. You know, I just never did. I always thought he was out for himself, even as a Guardians president, man. Back in the day, we were all members. I'm like, nah, man. Something don't seem right here. You know? No. So, if he did something wrong, the investigation flow, I understand that Southern District of New York is running the investigation, not the FBI. Yeah, so, and those people down in the Southern District are go-getters. So they'll find, if they find something, then they found it. If they don't, is good. Thank you.
All right. Welcome, Rich. Good to see you. Hopefully your wife is doing well. We've been praying for her as well. Isabel. All right.
She is. Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right. Anybody else with any thoughts, any comments on that? Oh, D, I see. I didn't see your hand. Go ahead, D.
Now, just really quick. We're in a time where nobody wants any checks and balances, right? I get a position and I think, oh, I've made it. Now I can act as though most of us became police officers and we had to cut off a whole bunch of friends. I can hang out with Pojo and them no more. I couldn't. Y'all gotta go. I mean, I'll give you a little few dollars here and there, but I can't hang out with you anymore. I think people get these positions and they think, okay, it's over. I know even my little peon, when I became a little supervisor, the division council was on speed dial. I made sure I knew somebody. Hey, we're about to do this. Give me the pros and the cons and the ups and the downs. And even then, we got investigated, looked out. It was a nature of us doing our job, you know. Mark comes down and he wants to know here's the books. They did that all the time. Here's look at. Oh, you didn't cross this T. Well, I missed the T. You didn't dot that I. Missed that too. Okay, it's the nature of the job when you're in public service to expect these things. So I don't understand why we get so far outside the lines that a federal investigation now, they got to start taking your cell phone. You already got my cell phone. I was with the state police. I had 3 different cell phones. Y'all already got them. You know who I'm calling. Most of the time I'm calling you. So, I don't understand how we get to a certain point. And you're talking about a commissioner of probably the biggest city in the world. How are you don't have lawyers? How you don't have Kyle Rose on speed dial? Hey, I'm about to put one foot in front of the other. Can I do this? Mm-hmm. Right? I know where I am. Hey, tell me if I can, if I can't. If you're not sure, I got to call somebody else. I'm doing something. I'm going to call Jerry in the mayor's office. Hey, check with your people. I'm about to do a 2-step. Can I step or can I 2? Tell me. Mm-hmm. And then I talk to Mark. Hey, Mark, I'm about to go through this door. Can I go through this? Everybody knows. So I don't understand why we get so far outside the lines that the FBI comes in and starts snatching phones and devices, which we all know we got devices. I got devices here. Everything I do is on here. Look, what you don't want me to call Don? I call Don. What you want me to do? What you want me to do? I called him. Why'd I call Don? We about to go on a roll call. That's why I called him. So I don't understand why these learned people, professionals, and I understand this guy went up through the ranks. You gotta know better. The first rung, you gotta know better than this. Mm-hmm. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. That they snatching everybody's phone. What? Nobody said. I don't know. It's just for me. I think we're in a place now where people think, oh, it's a free for all. I guess with our president being a free for all, I can do whatever I want. I can shoot somebody. What we say a minute ago? I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they can't do nothing to me. Well, they don't have Leavenworth anymore. Otisville is waiting. I'm done.
Thank you, D. Let me get Tyrone and Cheech.
Hey guys, so what happened to Van Adams is a classic case. A lot of people. My father always said to me growing up that you're gonna have friends for seasons. Some friends will not be there always. Everybody that comes, you can't go with you. And Jay-Z said it best. Also, they asked him, "Why don't you spend any time in Brooklyn?" He said, "I'm not trying to keep it real. I'm trying to keep it rich." So you can't do once you level up. You gotta shave off to level up. And apparently, the mayor in Partey didn't understand that. And it's a classic case of everybody that comes with you can't go with you. That's how I feel about that. I just saw the mess. I'm just glad Keisha got out of there. 'Cause I don't want to be no part of that. Teacher's way too valuable to be part of that nonsense. That's all I got.
All right, thank you, Ty. Cheech and Kyle.
Yeah, Ty indeed hit on some of the things I was going to talk about, but I think sometimes a lot of people go into these positions with good intentions, but like Ty said, you got to be careful who you surround yourself with and who you associate yourself with. Sometimes your own family members are your good friends. You know, you get into those positions and they come to you for favors, or hook me up here or do this for me. And unfortunately, I think sometimes people go over that line thinking they're doing the right thing, but it's something that is not legal, and they end up in this situation jammed up. I mean, I hope there's nothing there. It unfortunate because it makes everybody look bad, because the public doesn't just see that it was the commissioner. They just say it's the whole police department is corrupt. That's the way the public looks at it. So you have to be careful when you get up into those high positions of who you surround yourself with, and you have to shave off some of those people from your life, unfortunately.
Geez, thank you so much. Kyle? I'm sorry, AC.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I think I wanted to respond to some things that Dee said. I don't disagree with anything he said, or anything that anyone has said. I just think that, these people that have worked their way up and then they find themselves jammed up, for one thing or another, they probably were not, it's not that they start doing dirty when they got there. They probably were doing little things along the way, and got away with it and felt like it didn't matter, or they got a pass or weren't found out. And the little things turned into bigger things, and it sort of snowballed to where they are now, in a supervisory position, still with that same mindset that they can get away with this and get away with that, or the laws and the rules don't apply to them. And so I think that I agree that if the mayor has nothing to do with it, it's hard for me to believe that he doesn't know who these people are, that he doesn't know. He does know. And there's a reason Dave says he rubbed me the wrong way, or I never liked him. There was something there all those years ago that caused him to feel uneasy about that particular individual in that particular position, and how he was conducting himself, things that he said, whatever it was. A rookie standing there looking at him and saying, "Nah, I'm not with this," right? So that gut, I think, speaks volumes. And here we are later. So it's hard for me to believe that he doesn't know anything about anything and doesn't understand what happened and what these people are doing. And he stands and tells us, I've told my people to obey the law, and we're going to be law abiding. But you have to know who these people are. And I do think that it says something about you when you are selecting individuals that are not doing the right thing, or have some sense of entitlement, or that the rules don't apply to them, and they do poorly. And this is the third. Now he's going to pick this interim commissioner. This is the third commissioner, and how many years has he been mayor? 3 years? I mean, it's just bad. So, although I do understand and I do appreciate that Keechant Sewell may have left on her own accord, seeing what was going on, or having some inkling, or whatever her reasons were. It seems as if she left because she wanted to leave. It wasn't something that that he didn't fire her, in other words,
Right.
and no investigation led her to resign. And that wasn't the situation with her. So I just think that, you know, probably things were going on along the way with these folks, and it's hard for me to believe that the mayor has completely clean hands, if not only that he knew who these people were and that they were probably not worthy for the position in the first place, and that he needed to be picking someone else. So you know, it's just unfortunate. We'll wait to see. We're saying all this. There's so much we don't know, and I'm always a stickler for saying wait. We've got to wait and see what the facts tell us, and we know so little at this point. So perhaps it's unfair to even speak, but for based on what we do know, it's just it just looks so bad. And you're right, Cheech. It sort of throws a whole you know, as if the police department needed any other reason for people to distrust and not like them. And here we go at the top now. We are being investigated. So it's just bad. And I don't know how to recover from this. It's going to take a whole lot of time and perhaps a new administration and new, you know, a whole new upper echelon of the police department to turn this around. We'll see how it unfolds. That's it from me.
And Kyle, I'm with you. I don't know if we'll ever recover from it.
Yeah.
How long? I don't know if we'll ever recover from this. You know, they if I'm not mistaken, they raided the chancellor, right? Which is Banks, and then the commissioner was the other Banks, who was the
brother, right?
Yeah, he was the chief of department for NYPD. And then you have the first commissioner who happened to be chancellor's fiance.
You know, all this nepotism, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like
things of impropriety. It's just not, you know, if you're trying to be aware of following the law and order, if you're trying to have that face, this is not the way to do it.
Right. I agree with you. I agree with you. And they may be qualified, but at some space you gotta separate that so it doesn't look like something's going wrong. You know,
right.
Just I mean, even the Bible speaks about stay away from the appearance of evil. Right. It may not be evil, but just the appearance of it. And so you gotta be careful with all that stuff. Anyone else anything on that? Okay.
It's a like.
There's a button over there that says, there you go, Jerry. There you go. I got Jerry first, everybody. I got her. Jerry.
I just want to say it's a little bit too much smoke for there not to be a fire here, y'all. I'm sorry. And we, you know, as minorities, I'm sorry to go here, but as minorities, we always know we can't be as comfortable as everybody else. Because y'all said, like, my president going saying he can shoot and kill, but guess what? We can't do the same stuff. And to actually get so comfortable is a bad move. It's a bad move. So I don't know. I think Derek actually knew Mayor. He always rubbed me off as like, he's a little bit too, I'm sorry, and I don't know the man. I really don't know the man. And y'all know I could be mean. He's a little bit too arrogant for me. And I'm like, you remind me of a Napoleonic complex thing, boy. And I don't mean boy, young man. So he, you know, I just think there's something going on here. This is not for nothing. There's too many investigations for there to be absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, starting with him, right, with some money from another country. They haven't cleared that up yet either, right? Investigation number 1, when they took his phones. The mayor's.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah.
Turkey.
All right, Mark, you're calling me. I don't know if you meant to or not, but your phone is calling me. Oh. Well, okay. But Jerry, I just have to ask you a question real quick. You said y'all know I can be mean. Well,
me.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. That's what you said. When have you been mean?
Oh,
I mean, you don't know that.
You don't see our phone, our message. Sometimes I can be kind of tough and rough.
Oh, okay. Kyle, I see your hand, Kyle. I see the one.
Kyle knows what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I forgot to say, with respect to what Dee was talking about, there is a law department within the police department, right? And obviously they are there to advise and let folks know. There's many different responsibilities there, and they are available for folks to call, if they think, can we do this, or they have a proposal, what's the impact of this, that, and the other thing. So that exists, but whatever is going on, it's not something that you're calling up the law department to ask, because they already know it's wrong, right? So that's the difference between what you might do, Dee, to say, can I, this procedure or this, or we're going to go here, or is this one, you're asking questions about, your work and doing something that is outside of work and really has no place in the workplace.
I think Donald took a little break.
Did we lose Donald?
I think so.
There he
Thanks,
is.
Kyle.
He's
D, he's back?
He's back.
on
He's
mute.
back. Unmute yourself, Don.
He's on mute. Say, go ahead. D, you can
Okay.
get to that next one, D.
Okay, got you. So the next one, everybody knows what's going on in the on the news with I think the Miami Dolphins player. We figured we want to share a little video and then open it up for discussion. Here we go.
Controversy surrounding Tyreek Hill and Miami-Dade police after the star wide receiver was detained during a traffic stop while he was heading to the game. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chelsea Jones. This all happened a few hours before kickoff close to Hard Rock Stadium. And what is getting attention is this video right here. Hill being put on the pavement in handcuffs. We do have team coverage for you tonight, beginning with CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho. He is live in Miami Gardens. Joe,
Chelsea, we are, and Dolphins fans are still trying to figure out as well what happened that ended up with Tyreek Hill on the pavement as they left the game. Two things were on their mind. One, excitement they won, and again, what happened with Tyreek Hill. And after the game, Tyreek Hill told reporters that he himself was still trying to put it all together as to how he ended up on the pavement in handcuffs.
Get out of the car right now.
Cell phone video shows Miami-Dade police officers telling Tyreek Hill to get out of his car.
Doing what my uncle always told me to do whenever you're in a situation like that. Just listen. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Just listen.
Moments later, another one shows Hill face down on the pavement, surrounded by officers as he is put in handcuffs.
It happened so fast that it caught me off guard. You feel me?
Officers then walk Hill to the curb, where seconds later, another officer appears to force him to sit.
What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, bro? Like, worst case scenario.
Why do you believe the police put you in handcuffs?
I have no idea, for real. No idea. No idea, man. It's crazy. It wasn't disrespectful, because my mom didn't raise me that way.
MDPD says it detained Hill, cited him for careless driving, then releasing him to go play in the opener.
I look, they saying that's Hill, that's Hill. I said, oh my God.
Pamela told us she watched the entire situation unfold.
Maybe 10, 15 minutes later, that's when the other football player pulled up. And he was saying, Twin, you all right?
Defensive tackle Calais Campbell also said police put him in handcuffs. Miami-Dade Police Director Stephanie V. Daniels, in a statement Sunday, said she initiated an internal affairs investigation. One officer involved has been placed on administrative duties while the investigation is being conducted.
That should tell you everything you need to know then.
Dolphins fans left the game happy for the win.
Fins up, we're going to the Super Bowl. Free Tyreek Hill, let's go!
Supporting Hill after what happened.
You didn't have to cuff him, you had to put him on the hot pavement. The pavement was burning hot, and they stuck him down there on that ground. They just broke my heart.
Probably upset him and made him play harder.
Main reason why we came to the game is to watch him, so I'm happy he was able to pull through and get in the game.
Seemed like he forgot about it, just, okay, let's play. Able to talk to my wife, calm down a little bit, and I was straight, man. Because I know at the end of the day, I still got a job to do.
And we did reach out to MDPD to get a look at the body cam footage following Hill being put in handcuffs. We have yet to receive that video. Live outside Miami Gardens in the Hard Rock Stadium, Joe Gorcho, CBS News Miami.
And it will give us a different picture of what happened.
Oh, you're on mute there, Don.
Yeah, I just realized that. That was an interesting video, and I have my own views, but I'm gonna let Dave and Rich go first, and then we'll
Yeah. Thank you. Tyreek Hill is a fucking asshole. I saw the whole video. He's a fucking asshole. And he's fucking trying to play that victim shit. And these people who don't really know, they just love football. You know what I mean? They're trying to speak up for him. He wants people on his side now. That cop He was flying, doing some flying, maybe he's running late. Okay. But, you know, when the cop comes up to you, pulls you over, you pull over, and then you saying, don't hit my window like that. And then you roll the window up on the cop when he's trying to get your paperwork from you. He's telling you, he knocks on your window again and tells you, roll your window down. Then you crack it halfway again. He says, I'm going to pull you out of there if you don't comply. And he opened up that door, and guess what? He got yanked because I would have got yanked. You would have got yanked, Don. School, you would have got yanked. They didn't give a damn if we retired cops or not. I'm tired of these athletes. And he, by the way, his dumbass was already in trouble last time when he was on video saying how he whips his 2-year-old son. Okay? He was having to whip his ass with a belt. Remember that shit? And the NFL grabbed his ass. He had to go get his own counselor, family counselor for that shit. Now he's playing victim. I really don't know what happened. You know what the fuck happened. You were sounding like a fucking asshole, and that fucking Spanish cop wasn't trying to hear his shit. Okay? Latino cop wasn't trying to hear that shit. Who you are. Let your window down. You roll it up in the damn guy's face. And by the way, and what did that Supreme Court say back in 2003? If a cop asks you to step out of that car, step the hell out. Come on, man. I'm tired of Tyree, whatever his damn name is, and his bullshit, playing victim. Okay? Just because he's a big-time millionaire football player. And I'm surprised the NFL is being quiet so far on this. You know? We all got to comply and listen to these damn cops. Why can't he? He throwing his money around in the cop's face. This little $5 cop ain't got shit on me. I make 20, 30 million. That's the attitude he gave the cop. This shit didn't even have to go that far. Okay, you want to fry like fucking bacon on a hot Miami street? Here you go. Come on. I'm tired of it. Then he's getting all these young kids. They're over there taking a side. They don't know shit. Okay, and they all getting angry with cops now because what they did to this fool. Come on, man. I should have accidentally fell on his knee and put his knee in his ass. That's what. Maybe he would have liked that better. I'm done, man. I had enough of that fool, man.
Dave, it sounds like you and Mark Matthews had a conversation before we talked about this. But no, I'm just going to hold off right there. But anyway, Marcus Diggs says, welcome back, Mark. We haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, but welcome back, Marcus Diggs. Marcus said, you can't roll your window up and then complain about him knocking on your window. That makes a whole lot of sense. Richard Bowden says, I saw a body cam video and he was speeding. He was disrespectful to the officer. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been handcuffed. If he had not been a jerk, he'd been treated differently. He knows how the Miami cops are. He's lucky the cops didn't go medieval on him. And you're pretty much right, but one thing I have to say about Mark, his hand is up, so I'm not going to say anything about Mark now, so I'll let him I'm going to let him express his own feelings because I know how he feels about this kind of stuff. Rich and Cheech and Mark.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm a Miami fan since the 70s, since the perfect season. So it goes back to 72.
Check it and see. It might be hot. I don't know.
Is it hot? So look.
He keeps forgetting that he's live. He keeps getting that microphone.
It's the Mark Show. Anyway. Tyreek's attitude was poor. He was disrespectful. He should have obeyed the commands of the officer, the traffic officer. That's a crime not to obey that. I just think, he did all that, but then having to put him face down on the pavement and roughing him up, and the other officer forcing him down to the ground after he was already handcuffed, I just think it was a little overdone. When his friend tried to check on him, that same cop was so aggressive. He said, "Hey, get out of here. I don't want you over here. You should get out of here." He goes, "Okay, I'll leave. He goes, "Matter of fact, give me your license." He goes, "No, I'm not going to leave. No, give me your license." And it was like, it was on. It was very aggressive. I understand he felt like, his authority was being usurped, or, he felt less than like this, this rich football player is, but then you look at the other side of the coin, when Tom Brady was playing, this would have never happened. Tom Brady was beaten. They wouldn't have put him on the pavement and done like he did him, but you could do that to a black man. You know what I mean? And even though he had a bad attitude, it just seems like there's no courtesy given to people of color, even by people of color. And I don't know if this Latino guy was actually Cuban. As people know that live in Miami, Cubans don't like blacks, So I just, I hate to go to the racial thing with this, but it could have been a partially that situation. He felt disrespected. Plus, maybe he might have a little racial problem with the rich black athlete coming through speeding. Tyreek Hill was wrong, but I think the aggression you could see, and that's why they sat that officer down on administrative leave after reviewing the video, because they probably thought, hey, this is a little over the top, So that's just my take on that.
All right. Let me get this remark in real quick. Marcus Diggs says they should have charged him with too much tint on driver's side window. Marcus, I believe in Florida that tint is legal.
They did.
So again, that's why we said at the beginning of our show, different laws, different states. Know what state you're in, and know what laws apply to you. Because in New York, which you just said Marcus would apply, but in Florida, I don't think it applies there.
It did. He got charged
For what?
for that tent on the window.
Did he?
He got a ticket for that tent on the window
In Florida.
in Florida.
And the reckless driving. He got hit with it all.
I'm commenting on the tent.
It might be the tent might have been too dark.
And this shit ain't got nothing to do with race.
He got a ticket for the tent.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, you can have tint on the windows in Florida, but it has to be a certain. You can't have it pitch black.
Yeah. Gotcha. Marcus, I apologize. Even though the laws are different in different states, and some states may allow limo tint even on the front window. Marcus says everything ain't about race, Rich. Okay. Everything about okay.
Wait, he's the main one that's always talking about race. You don't tell me everything's not about race? I know what it is to be black in the United States. And I've been, being treated a certain way. I was in the Navy, I was treated a certain way sometimes. I mean, I just
Rich.
This ain't about race, man. This is not about damn race, Rich. That's
I didn't say totally race. I said it could be a factor.
Real
Dave,
black men don't act like
you
that.
feel the way you feel about him all you want. I'm just saying I know how
I
black
don't give a
people
fuck about him.
I'm talking
He
about
acted
driving
like
while
a
black.
fucking moron.
The
He acted like
term
a real
driving while black is on for a reason. Driving while black is a term for a reason.
It wasn't because of this shit. He was being an asshole.
Well,
He drive like an asshole. Okay, thought of who he was. Then 6'9" Calais Campbell wants to walk his giant ass over there to intervene. Stay back. Shit.
You've had white people that have done more. That's done more than what Tyreek Hill did and not be treated that way.
David, he black, act like a black man. A lot of kids look up to his dumb ass too.
Listen, I understand your views, everyone's views. But one thing I have to say about Rich, he is far from racist. I mean, I was listen, and y'all know that. I mean, I'm talking to y'all. There's people that's not on this panel that may not know, but Rich is far from racist, and he had a reason for saying what he said. He didn't say it was the case. He did say it could have been the case. So let's keep that in perspective as well. He never said that was why that happened. He just said it could have been the reason why that happened. But let me go on to I think okay, D. So D's hand comes down because I have him as a co-host. So when he puts his hands up, it comes down sometimes. So I got D, Cheech, Mark, and then back to you, Dave. And then we're gonna bring it in too.
Yeah. A few quick points because I know we're coming to the end of. I'm not gonna come down on either side. Because it's easy to do that. We can have the fight. I'm gonna come down on the law. All right, driving is a privilege, right? Driving is a privilege. The privilege is what? Come on, y'all got kids. Mm-hmm. if you can do these things as long as you follow the rules.
Right.
They're rules. When you're stopped by a police officer, the rule is you're under arrest. And we got to get this thought in our mind as I have the right to drive my car. And when they stop me, they have to do this. We need to stop that. Somebody's going to get hurt. If you don't follow all of the rules and the lights go on, you, young man, young woman, football player, regular guy, white guy, black guy, are under arrest. Now, the officer, in his discretion, if you cooperate, can make sure you go home with what's called an appearance ticket. And we leave that name, that first word off, and it's confusing. That's an appearance ticket. That means, since I arrested you, I can take you in front of a judge right now for anything. For a headlight, I can take you to see a judge for a headlight.
Yep.
But in my discretion, because I don't want to clog up the court system, I give you an appearance ticket to show up at a later date when it's a little more orderly. But you have to cooperate. You don't have the right to roll up windows. They knocking on the door like the police. I don't know. They are the police. We don't knock lightly when you break the law. Oh my goodness. Somebody's going to get hurt. Now, I hear what you're saying, Rich, and they didn't have to do this. I was a trooper for 32 years. I say something one time. I articulate very, very well. Sir, step out of the car. I'm only going to say it once. We're not going to back and forth, sir. You know, you really need to. This is the law. Sir, my name is Trooper Schoon. You need to step out of that car. Anything other than that, you're going to have a problem. You going down on the hot pavement, the cold pavement, the snowy pavement, because I don't have time for all of that. I follow the book, man. We are getting so far away from rules and the law that these now kids are thinking, okay, I have all these things I can do, and you're gonna get someone hurt. We don't have time for this. Now, Rich, I'm hearing what you said, but I've been black a long time. I don't know how old you are, partner, but probably around the same time, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less. But I can't do what Tom Brady does. My brain don't think that way. I know when the light goes on. I know what the book says. I roll down my windows. I pull over. Yes, officer. Yes, officer. Yes, officer. You are certainly right. Yes, officer. Because I'm trying to make that stop as little time as possible so I can get on my way. Yes, officer. Yes, officer. If you want to give me a ticket, you most certainly go ahead. Where do I show up? This is what I do. There are rules. All of this back and forth, you're going to get someone hurt. And the last thing I want to say, passersby, for that, what you say, 6'9", partner, when I'm in the middle of my police job, you're going to have a problem. I don't care if that's your boy, your baby mama. I don't care if you just left him. You stop in the roadway while I'm trying to do not only are you going to get handcuffed, but you're going to get cuffed and stuffed. We'll figure it out back at the station. And I'm not mad at you. I love football. Running back, yeah, I love it. I'm a football fan, but you're getting locked up because that's not the rules. You're blocking up traffic. I'm trying to keep my attention here. You're taking it away. The only way I can keep my attention straight is everybody gonna get cuffed. And there have been times where we cuff everybody in the car. What did we talk about our unarrest section? 130-20 in the CPL. I can put you in cuffs first, then we'll figure it out. But we're not going to have a conversation on the roadway with traffic going on when this guy went 100 miles an hour. He's rolling up his window. Somebody gonna get hurt.
Yeah, you on point, D. You really on point. And sometimes I try to say things to make us think about the other side, but I'm listening to you guys, and I feel you. I feel Dave. I know I'm about to feel Mark and Cheech, but yeah, I know it. So let me just get to it so we can keep on moving so we can go home. Cheech, go ahead.
I'm already on.
Yeah, D hit on a lot of things I was going to hit on. Tariq said something at the end. He said, at the end of the day, I got a job to do. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, that officer has a job to do also. What's one thing we talk about on this show? The talk that we have with our own kids.
Comply.
As soon as you get pulled over, my kids know, turn the car off, roll the window down, especially if it's tinted windows, so the officer can see. I tell them, as a matter of fact, roll all 4 windows down so they have a good view into the car. And put your hands on the steering wheel where they can see your hands. Don't reach for anything. Don't reach for your registration, your license, nothing. Wait until he tells you, and then say, sir, my registration, my license, in my glove compartment, or it's wherever. Can I reach for it? Simple. I said, you do all that stuff, that puts the officer at ease. You get your ticket, you move on your way. You know, that didn't happen. You know, it's unfortunate. And like Dee said, anybody else stopping? No, you're in the middle of a traffic stop. Now you got to deal with somebody else? No, you don't stop. You can't. Keep it moving. You know, the way it was handled, yeah, maybe you know, a little too. Getting him out of the car, hey, you have to get him out. You asked him, he's not compliant. The second part, you know, he's standing up. The way that other officer jumped, I wasn't too happy with that. I think that could have been handled better. But at the end of the day, you're not compliant, and you said it yourself. You got a job to do. Well, they have a job to do. That's my point.
All right, Cheech, I would just say this, that for those who deal with traffic stops, for those who are listening to us, please understand that police officers are human just like you. And just like you can get annoyed, so can they. It goes both ways. Don't just think that you're the only one that get annoyed. You're annoyed that you're being stopped. They're annoyed you're not complying with the stop. All right, so it goes both ways. I've been there before. Mark and Dave.
Well, first of all, thank you, Dave. I didn't have a conversation with Dave, Don, but you know what?
I know.
He read my mind. I knew he would. I knew D would as well. I feel the same way. You know, he'll start it. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Okay, that's that. You know what I'm saying? You got a million, you know, you got an expensive car. Okay, good for you. But when you're driving like that and you're putting everybody in risk, you're a problem. When you don't listen, police feel that there must be something you're hiding. If you're a millionaire and you that bad, roll the window down, take the ticket, pay it, you won't even feel it. Okay, and then go to the game. I'll tell you another mistake. If I was the boss on that scene, he would have got locked up. If my officers gotta put their hands on you, okay, I don't care if you are a football player. I don't care if you're a baseball player. Okay, I don't care if you're Tom Brady. If my officers had to put a hand on you, okay, because when they don't and they let you go, it looks bad. And now all of a sudden everybody wants to cry. The other thing, when the police pull you over, it's not a debate. Okay, it's not a debate. You may disagree with it. You go to court for that, but you don't debate it on the street. Rich, I'm sorry. I know that's your team, but Calais was check the video again. He was told numerous times, sir, you can't park there. You got to move your car. Sir, you can't park there. You got to move your car. He's on the phone. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Yo, we're not trying to hear that. Okay, and you know as well as anybody else, if you told somebody to move their car and they didn't, and they ignoring you because they're on the phone, you're going to handle that a whole lot differently. I don't care who it is. Okay, so that's that. The other thing, if you never made a car stop commenting on it, okay, because you never had to deal with it. You never had to deal with walking up to a car. It is a safety issue. You don't know who you're stopping. They roll the window down. You still may not know who it is or what he has in the car. Your life is at risk. Okay, so I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, it's just a traffic infraction. Well, you know what? That's what a lot of crimes start from. You know, a lot of dead bodies can be in a car. A lot of this, a lot of that. And I'm not saying he had a dead body in the car, but that's the mind frame we got to deal with. Until we know, we don't know. Okay, and like I said, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
All right,
Even
Mark.
though you may be stupid, you don't have to play the game.
All right.
I mean, I've been stopped down here in Delaware a few times. And it was less than 5-10 minutes. I said what I had to say, and he said what he had to say. I'm on my way. He's on his. You know, there's a time and a place for everything, and the time and the place is not arguing with a trooper or a cop on 95, 85, whatever. You know, you expect respect, give them respect.
We know as retired cops not to do that. But when you're a millionaire and you got all this money and you're driving a big expensive car and you got your boys around, you think you're it. Well, guess what? He would have got locked up that day.
You would have really locked him?
I would have locked him up because my point is, as a supervisor,
goddamn right, I locked his ass up.
Game day.
You know, well, why would you let him go? If you had to take him out of the car because he wouldn't listen and put him on the ground, well, guess what? He's getting locked up.
Well, I think he should after all that. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So you don't want to listen. I don't care. You know what? And you know what? So what? You missed your game now. Once again, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I don't think it should have got that far, but
it shouldn't have. But you know what? He took it there. But I don't want to rain on Dave's comments. I'm definitely trying to hear it.
And JT, real quick, I know yes, Mark would have had him locked up. Hey, no fans of us about that. I see a hand, Rich, and I'm coming to you, Dave, and then we're going to close out, D. All right.
NFL, this young man's career was already saved once when he was caught on camera and audio saying that he whips his 2-year-old child with a belt. And the NFL clamped on him. His career could have been over. They made him get back up in front of a crowd and apologize at the press conference and all that. This fool here, he can't even look up when he's at this press conference now because he knows he was wrong. It ain't got nothing to do with his race. Other people have that complaint. Yeah, you do. Yeah, it happens with race. But this fool acted like a jackass from the time he was driving that car, from the time he stopped him, and then the cop had to knock on the window to get you to roll your shit down, and then he says, "Don't be knocking on my window that hard." But God, back in the day, you got your little ass snatched through that window, and that cop would snatch him like a little rag doll, didn't he? Didn't he? His camera will bring his 6'9", 320-pound ass over there, and that's like a shot. Want everybody to see him in the street and shit. Oh, there's Calais over there. That's Calais. He would have went too. He would have went too. We got these fools. You got all of this money. You a star. You a celebrity. He came from being broke. You know. He ain't grew up with the money. But now he's a millionaire. Okay. Now he don't know how to fucking act. But what about my son? Rich, I don't know if you have a son now. Your son, Don's son. Okay, they ain't gonna get that courtesy to let go ahead and play your game. Acting like a fucking asshole. Okay, he's an asshole, and that poor cop should not get fired or suspended. Yeah, he was hot. I don't blame him for being hot. Fucking Miami Dolphins player treating him like he's a piece of garbage in the goddamn street. And all those big luxury cars down in Miami. Drug dealers, athletes, superstars, models, movie stars. Everybody got money down there. What's the poor cop supposed to do? How you gonna do his job? Okay? Come on, man. These athletes, even Charles Barkley said that guy was fucking wrong.
That's definitely a person to listen to, Charles Barkley. I'm messing with Charles now, not you, Dave.
That was funny, Dave.
Come on, man. Who the fuck does he think he is? Okay, you got young kids that look up to this dude, man. Athletes, wide receivers, running back. Look up to him. And he has a son.
The one he's beaten.
Drag grandma and his mommy into it, this shit. Man, go back inside, cook some okra. Shit. I'm done.
Okay. Rich, last one, because I wanted you to go before Dave. I wanted Dave to end it, but you got it, Rich.
Okay. Listen, I see the side of the non-compliance. He acted like a juvenile. They took action. I understand that part of it. I've taken people out of cars, who weren't listening. Okay, so I understand that part of it. But there's a reason why they sat that officer down. And if you watch all the videos, which I did, Tyreek was totally wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Dolphins fan, but he's in the wrong. You got to comply. You got to listen to the police. Okay, but that police officer was given directions, and his partners were given directions. And when the Goliath got out of the vehicle, he said, "Hey, they're roughing Tyreek up. They're roughing him up," and they said, "You got to leave." And then the aggressive guy came over and said, "Hey, you need to leave." He goes, "Well, this guy said I could." He goes, "Well, give me a license." He goes, "Okay, I'll go ahead and leave." He goes, "No, give me a license. Give me." He was very hyped up. He was hot. He was over the top. I thought, even though Tyreek was wrong and his teammate was looking out for him, pulling over. They're in Miami. The game's about to start. I understand. You may not give a shit about the game. I understand you're cop doing your thing. When they sat him down on his ass, he said, "Hey, I just had knee surgery." That's a factor right there. You know what I mean? It's not, because you don't listen, you just get dogged and dragged, and we can just do whatever we want to you. There's a certain point where you have to have some professionalism and treat people with a certain amount of respect, even if they don't deserve it. So if you don't see that side of it, I think this department saw that side of how aggressive he was with everybody. And he gave a command, and before you could even react, he went ahead and did it. Even he told Tyreek, "Hey, you don't pull this window down, I'm going to pull you out of there. Matter of fact, I'm pulling you out." And when he asked for the guy to leave, he was like, "Oh, give me a license." Before you can even "Okay, I'll leave." So, there's a couple of sides to it. Tyreek was definitely wrong, no doubt about it. But I feel like this officer was just too hot, too aggressive. It could have been handled differently. That's why I think they sat him down on administrative leave. So they had a reason for it.
All right, listen. Just have to give you a Marcus statement. Someone already.
Mark, don't leave.
Huh?
Said Mark is leaving.
No. Marcus on Marcus Diggs, one of the viewers. He said, "If Charles Barkley said it, I have to change my mind." I said, "Marcus, I'm with you on that one." All right, listen. Thank you guys for joining us. D, do we have anything to close out with, or should we just move on?
Yeah, we should close it out. It's late.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. I think it was a pretty good show, pretty good conversation. I kind of like it when the conversation is not just like we all on the same page, because it just shows you there's different personalities, even in law enforcement, and how we perceive law enforcement and how we do law enforcement. So I really appreciate all of your comments. I really do. And to tell you the truth, I can see where everyone's coming from. I really can. I can see where I definitely see where Rich is coming from, because that's what I was saying to Mark earlier in our chat during the week. I was like, well, listen, does it, first of all, is it against the law? Do you have to remove it? I mean, I had a whole lot of questions, not that I was in agreement with his behavior, but I'm looking at the other side of it. What about the role as a police officer? Their role, they should do the right thing, but even if they don't do the right thing, what is our responsibility? What is our role as professional law enforcement? How are we to treat certain things? And I must admit, there were times where I had to snatch someone because they were doing it the wrong way as well. I've had to snatch people out of a car. I had to put you down to the ground because you just was not complying with what I had to say. And as police officers, we're always taught that you have to be in control of the situation. Do not allow someone else can take control of the situation. So I understand it, but now that I am retired, I do look at it from both sides as well. AC, go ahead before I cut you, because you haven't said a word.
Yeah, I just gotta say this, not because they didn't listen to what you said. because what they were doing was dangerous situation, and you want to make sure it's more secure.
Okay.
It's not because you're saying it it presents a dangerous situation.
Okay, I would have to say this, AC. Sometimes because I said it.
But the reason you say it is to preserve the danger level, to keep it low.
Well, it really wasn't even dangerous because I'm not going to spend too much time here giving you this ticket. I mean, if you understand what I'm saying, it's like I don't have time to waste arguing with you over whether you were right or you were wrong. Mark said it right. Mark said, I think Mark was Mark or D said it. Go to court. Go to court. I don't have time to try this case out here. I'm on an assignment here. I don't have time to sit here and try this case. And then I'm still gonna say you're guilty. You're still gonna say you're not guilty. We're still in the same spot. I don't have that kind of time. So there were times when it was for your safety, and it was also time because I don't have time to waste. CJ, I knew you guys were give me. Go ahead, CJ.
I just want to say this one thing. If you review the video, you will see two things. One officer gives a command and he doesn't act quick enough, so the second officer addresses it. The first officers tell him, come on, get out the car, and he doesn't move. The second officer goes in and he pulls him out. The second time, the officer tells him, and yo, have a seat. And he's trying to give that dude, I got a knee surgery. In the meantime, the second officer comes from behind and like, oh, you gonna have a seat. I just want you to know, we are talking, I know the officers were aggressive, and I'm just going to go with that. And I'm not arguing with you, Mark. I'm just saying, but it was one officer giving the command and the second officer acting on the command. That's my case, and I'm sticking to it. Review the tape.
Okay, listen. Thank you guys so much. We're at the end of our show. I want to thank everyone that participated. I want to thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. If it's God's will, we'll see you next week. Stay safe. Don't forget that national holiday on Monday. Don't forget the national holiday. And I'm not looking for gifts or anything. I just pray for me. Pray for me. It'd be my 62nd birthday. I'm getting it. I'm sure, JT. I've been trying to get here for so long. My wife is tired of hearing me talk about getting Social Security and all that stuff. And then I get there and find out I can't get it because I make too much money on the other side. So life goes on. I may have to wait until I'm 67 to start collecting my money. But I'm gonna bug everybody in the world to death until I start getting it. All right, let us pray. God our Father, we thank you for allowing us to come together. We thank you for every person. We pray for healing for those who need healing. We pray to God for financial blessings. We pray for relationship blessings. We pray to God you will continue to be with us and keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger. We pray for families that lost loved ones on 9/11 23 years ago, and even those who are still feeling the effects of what happened 23 years ago. Be with us. Be with those on Facebook Live. We thank you now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.